Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Hamilton, Ohio's 4th of July Patriotic program. In a day and age when July 4th sales seem to overshadow the meaning of Independence Day, I think we've proven today that Hamiltonians display and recognize the true meaning of July 4th. So thank all of you for being part of the true meaning of July 4th and Independence Day. While I'm here, how about a round of applause for the Hamilton Concert Band who's been playing? We're going to start with an invocation by Pastor John Lewis of the Presbyterian Church in downtown Hamilton.
Thank you, Mayor Moeller. Let us bow our heads in prayer. Almighty and everlasting God, on this day of celebration of our independence, we lift up our hearts in gratitude for the gift of being Americans. We rejoice with all those who share in the great dream of freedom and dignity for all. As we gather here with flags flying high, parades and celebrations, with family and friends, we pause to salute those who have sacrificed that we might be free, and those who continue to serve and protect our freedom. We pray that you will be our guide, both now and in the generations to come, so that we might be a light to the world and a place of refuge to all who yearn to be free. We pray in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Lewis. I liken the Presbyterian Church to the Old North Church in Boston that was so important in 1775 and 1776. We'll now have a posting of colors by DAV, Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 15. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Webelos Kayvon Benton. Kayvon Benton is a Webelos Cub Scout and is 9 years old. His brother, Kason Benton, led us in the pledge 2 years ago. Kayvon's grandmother, Marilyn Benton, is Kayvon's Webelos Den Leader. So, if you'll please rise if you're physically able for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Kayvon.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Great job. Star Spangled Banner will be sung by Miss Hannah Jones. Hannah just graduated from Hamilton High School this spring. She was involved in many activities, including Hamilton High School's Rhapsody in Blue, and being the lead in this year's musical Calamity Jane. Hannah will be attending Miami University this fall, where she'll be majoring in music and medicine. Hannah?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Hannah, and thank you, Kayvon. I think our future's in good hands with people like Kayvon and Hannah. We'll next have a 21-gun salute by DAV Chapter 15.
Right, ready. And fire. Ready. Hey. Fire.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
We're gonna do it again.
Fire.
One more time.
Hey. Fire. Yeah. Hey.
That was taps played by Hamilton High School student Dylan Tepe. Thank you, Dylan. We had several veterans in today's parade. I want to recognize the veterans. If you would please hold your applause until the very end, and then give a loud, well-earned applause to them. Veterans, if you'll raise your hand when your name is called. The parade was led by Sergeant Robert Snyder, United States Army, World War II, and his grandson, First Lieutenant Robert Snyder, who has served in Operation Enduring Freedom. And they were driven by Air Force officer and attorney Mike Brandenburg and Dr. Joe Brandenburg's historical Jeep. We also had William Bill Brown, United States Navy, World War II, Chief Petty Officer. William Doc Jones, United States Navy, World War II and Korean War. And Doc Jones is very active in the American Legion. Al Coach Wodel, United States Army, World War II, a platoon sergeant. Ray Conlon, Ray, United States Army, World War II. He's an active member in the Veterans Discussion Group, Partners in Crime. We also had Gordon Schaub in the parade, 37th Division Army, World War II, served in the Pacific, including Guadalcanal. Floyd Baker, United States Army, World War II, served in the Pacific, and his grandson proudly serves today. Ron Hughes, Royal Air Force, served in World War II, obviously served with Great Britain, who used to be our foe, but now is our friend. And Ron Hughes proudly served in World War II for our ally Great Britain, a true gentleman and Hamiltonian. Don Riedel, United States Army, Korean War, a very, very proud veteran. Mance Berry, United States Army, Korean War. He's active in several veterans organizations. A.C. Johnston, United States Army, Vietnam War. It's never too late to thank our Vietnam War veterans. Philip Alexander, United States Army, Vietnam War, DAV, State Vice Commander. We have Ben Raines, United States Navy, served in the Cold War. This is the first year we've had a Cold War recognition, but those are folks who kept the peace during some very tension-filled times. More recently, we've got Ramondo Wood, United States Marine Corps, served in the Gulf War, and he volunteers a lot for DAV Chapter 15 funerals for veterans who passed away. Alan Hawkins, Army National Guard. He just got back from Afghanistan, February 2014. Stephen Jesse, United States Army, Desert Storm era, Operation Iraqi Freedom. Steve Jesse brought with him several of the reservists who were behind all the Corvettes who were doing push-ups in the middle of the parade route, who are serving us now. And that was quite a scene to have them as part of our parade. We also have with us today, as part of the parade, Carolyn Beer, United States Marine Corps. She's the Executive Director of the Butler County Veterans Service Commission. We also have with us today Dr. Fred Southern, United States Army. He is the President of the Butler County Veterans Service Commission. Someone who's not here right now, but he also served in World War II, is a 95-year-old Army Air Corps nurse, World War II. She'll be watching our fireworks tonight at 10 o'clock along the Great Miami River. So she couldn't make the presentation today, but she'll be watching the fireworks. So we have a very good attendance of World War II veterans. At this time, will all veterans in the audience stand? If you're not standing, raise your hand and wave and accept the applause with those in the parade who have served our country and protected our freedoms. Thank you very, very much. We have a very special recognition today for a World War II veteran. And that special presentation is going to be conducted by Carolyn Beer, the Executive Director of Butler County Veterans Services, conducted by Dr. Fred Southern, the President of the Butler County Veterans Services Commission, as well as State Senator Bill Coley. Very special recognition for Homer Bolser. If you'll please come up to the podium for a very special recognition for Mr. Bolser, and you'll hear why.
First of all, I'd like to thank the mayor, Pat Moeller, and the 4th of July Organizing Committee. I know Dave Ballou, I don't know what other members are here. All of you have done an incredible job for this event. As a veteran, the first time having been in the parade, and also as a former Hamilton City Councilman, I can tell you that you are received much, much, much better as a veteran as you go through the parade route than you do as a politician. So Pat, on behalf of myself and I'm sure of everyone who's participating today, thank you so much for your efforts. We appreciate it. Occasionally as you go through life, you get some real honors, and today I have a very exceptional honor, and that is presenting a World War II veteran with the medals he earned during World War II. My relationship began with Homer Bolser about maybe 3 months ago, when it just happened to be sitting at lunch with him and discussion. He mentioned he's a veteran. I mentioned that I'm the president of the Butler County Veterans Association, and he was telling me he had received his medals. And I said, oh, well, I hope they gave you a real nice presentation. And his response was, yeah, the VA sent them through the mail, and the mailman handed me in a nice brown cardboard box. It was really nice. It floored me. No veteran needs to be treated that way. I decided then that I would go back to the Service Commission and we would see what we could do about that. And today, I am honored to be able to present to Homer Bolzer the medals he received as a result of his action in World War II in the 103rd Infantry Division. We contacted Congressman John Boehner, and John had a flag that flew over the Capitol building, United States Capitol building, sent to us, and that's part of the presentation we have. Could one of Homer's family members come forward, please? Homer, to you, on behalf of the Butler County Veterans Service Commission, our new Executive Director, Caroline Beer, and I present you and your family with your awards. And we thank you. You want to read that or something?
When Congressman Boehner returned the flag after it was flown, he also included a letter for Mr. Bolzer from Congress of the United States, House of Representatives, Washington, D.C., to Mr. Homer E. Bolzer. Dear Mr. Bolzer, as we celebrate our nation's independence, I wish to express my sincere appreciation for your military service during World War II. Today is an opportunity to reflect on the courage and sacrifice of the many patriots, including yourself, who have answered the call of duty throughout our nation's history. Remarkable feats of courage and bravery characterize the service members of World War II. Your contribution to the 103rd Infantry Division is no exception. The 103rd Infantry Division landed in Marseille, France on October 20th, 1944, pushed through the Vosges Mountains, fought strong enemy opposition through Germany, and made its way through Austria before the division reached the Brenner Pass on May 4th, 1945. Your accomplishments have not been forgotten. Today's presentation of medals by the Butler County Veterans Service Commission is a tribute, on behalf of a grateful community, to all that you have given and achieved. Although my schedule did not allow me the honor of meeting with you today, please accept my gratitude and sincere appreciation for your military service. Sincerely, John A. Boehner. And now, we'll hear from Senator Coley.
And thank you all for being here. It's a great day. I got to follow a true hero and Officer Stafford through the parade. And I got to spend some time with another true hero. And Homer, it's just an honor to know you. You know, you guys saw when people raised their hands, all the veterans that are in the crowd amongst us today. And they serve our country, they do heroic things, they do things that they don't want to talk about when they come back. They just want to rejoin life. And we thank you all for doing that. And they go on to be guys like Homer and just running a bank and helping out the community and just become excellent assets. But the sacrifice that they make and the burden that they carry with them, especially our combat veterans, should never be forgotten by all of us. And that's why I'm glad we have such a great crowd here today. And Homer, on behalf of Senate President Keith, oh, by the way, you do know Congressman Boehner had that flag flown on your 91st birthday, so it's a good thing. Way to go, John. But Homer, on behalf of your state government and on behalf of Senate President Keith Faber and the entire Senate, we commend you on your service, your awards, which of course includes the Bronze Star and all your other service. show record to your dedication to your country, your dedication to your unit and your fellow soldiers. And we thank you for then coming home and being such a great part of our community. Thank you.
And if I could, I'd like to ask Senator Coley, he has some framed letters and things that were also from Congressman Boehner's office. And rather than make Homer stand up here while we went through all this, if Senator Coley would present those to him, we'd appreciate it. I also have one more honor today, and the important one we've done right there, and I think Caroline will agree with me on this. The Butler County Veteran Service Commission has a new executive director, officially began work this past Monday, June 30th. As the president of the organization, I wish we swore people in because I would love to have sworn her in today, but we don't do that in the Veteran Service Commission. So I went out to Hobby Lobby and I rounded up some keys. I don't have a key to the city or anything like that. But as an official welcome to the Butler County Veteran Service Commission, I would like to present our new director, Caroline Beer, with these key, which is also a coat rack, and this set of keys to hang on to her coat rack as she begins her tenure with the Butler County Veteran Service Commission.
Thank you, Dr. Southard. I'm looking forward to everything that I have I'm going to be taken care of during my tenure as the executive director, and especially to have the opportunity to come back home after 20 years in the Marine Corps and be able to serve the veterans of Butler County. Thank you, and have a happy 4th of July.
See the Marines back there. One final thing, and then we're out of here. On behalf of the Butler County Commissioners, I've been asked to invite all of you to take a visit, a stroll through one of Butler County's best kept secrets. As I'm standing here, I look down about one block and we have the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. It is open today as a treasure chest of memorabilia from the wars that through which the United States has been through. I ask you to please take time to go visit that monument. It's open until 4 o'clock, and the commissioners, like I said, Don Dixon, Cindy Carpenter, and T.C. Rogers, would very much appreciate if you would take some time during your time today, during your visit with us, to go through that. Mayor Moeller, I don't know where you are, but we are finished. Thank you again. We appreciate it.
As I stated before, Hamilton truly understands what July 4th is all about. Thank you, Mr. Bolser. Thank you, Butler County Veterans Service Commission. Our parade grand marshal today was Chris Carruthers. She is Hamilton Citizen of the Year. She created an organization called the Caring Closet. The Caring Closet is a non-profit organization dedicated to improving the lives of children by providing clothing and basic necessities to those in need. How about a round of applause for Hamilton Citizen of the Year, Chris Carruthers. The theme of today's parade was celebrating Hamilton's history, Robert McCloskey's centennial. Robert McCloskey was born 100 years ago in Hamilton, Ohio. He was the author and illustrator of 8 children's books, and he was such a great writer and illustrator, he was named a living legend by the Library of Congress. We have a sculpture in our town of Lentil. Lentil's from a book that he wrote. That book is about a boy who learns to play the harmonica. And as part of our historical recognition of Robert McCloskey, we have a few people here today who are going to make this a very special part of our patriotic program. I'd like to introduce Dave Burke, our harmonica player, who's going to be playing Stars and Stripes Forever. Dave?
Robert McCloskey was obviously a tremendous writer, but he also was a tremendous harmonica player himself. Some of it is captured on video, and you can still get a chance to hear Robert McCloskey play. The last words of the book Lentil, I hate to spoil the ending, but I'm going to go ahead here. The last words of the book are, "You never know what'll happen if you learn to play the harmonica." And for a harmonica player, that's sacred text. That means a lot to us. There's a copy of his book Lentil over at the museum, the Robert McCloskey Museum, and he has written in the front. And he tells the kids, from the library, he tells the kids, he says, "I want you to learn your grammar, I want you to learn to spell better than I do, but I really hope that you learn to play the harmonica." And you can see that book over in the museum. Today, the Robert McCloskey Museum is selling, there's a table out in front of the statue of Lentil, and they're selling these harmonicas. I've seen some kids walking around with them, tooting away on them, and it does my heart good. And if Robert McCloskey were here, he'd be extremely pleased with that. These are below retail. I'm not going to make a commercial here, but stop over there and get your grandchild or your child or yourself a harmonica. After this program is over, I'm going to be over under that tree for a few minutes. If anybody's over there and wants a quick lesson, I'll be glad to give it to you. Since Robert, I can't play like he did, but I wanted to kind of combine the two things, his love of the harmonica and our great tribute to our country today. Stars and Stripes Forever.
That was a great rendition of Stars and Stripes Forever. And there were a lot of stars and stripes along the parade route today. That was very, very great and inspiring to see. I'm going to now introduce our guest and featured speaker, and her name is Nancy Fulmer. She's a retired educator, a community volunteer, a chairperson of the Heritage Hall Committee, and a member of the Robert McCluskey Centennial Committee. Nancy is here today to share some information and thoughts about Hamilton's famous author and illustrator, Robert McCluskey. Nancy?
Good afternoon. Happy 4th of July, and a special thank you to the Hamilton Community Foundation, the Michael J. Colligan Fund, and the members of this year's 4th of July committee for sponsoring today's program. And to all of you who participated in today's 52nd annual 4th of July parade, bravo! Thank you for sharing your time and your talents. Today, we not only celebrate America and the 238th year of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, but we also celebrate Hamilton's history. And as the colorful banners on the High Main Street Bridge proclaim, the 100th birthday year of John Robert McCluskey, famed and acclaimed author and illustrator of children's books and Hamilton's own native son. Although McCluskey's first name was John, he did not like it, and he did not use it. He referred to himself as a charter member of the SPCLJ. That stood for the Society for the Prevention of Calling Laboratories John. Born in Hamilton on September 15, 1914, McCluskey lived with his parents, Howard and Mabel, and his younger sisters, Dorothy and Melba. They lived in homes on Franklin Street and South G Street. He played kick the can in the street, and he dutifully carried out his weekly chore of hauling the family's ice supply in his trusty red wagon. Now, he also took that red wagon and a pitcher to the local brewer, bringing back beer for the grown-ups. McCluskey was encouraged by his parents at an early age to explore his interest. He inherited his father's passion for machines and his mother's love for painting. He loved to tinker around with most anything that was mechanical. Now, his Uncle John taught him how to play the piano, but he hated the lessons. He loved the music, though, so he learned how to play the harmonica, the drums, and the oboe. He attended first grade at Jackson School and grades 2 through 5 at Adams Elementary, which is now home to Partners in Crime. In 1932, he graduated from Hamilton High School. During his high school years, he served as leader of the harmonica band and performed at local churches and socials. He was the drum major of the Hamilton High School band, and he helped to illustrate the school annual. Now, when he was not in school, McCluskey could be found right down here at the YMCA at 2nd and Market. At the Y, he gave harmonica lessons, he taught boys how to make model airplanes, and in the shower room, mind you, he gave lessons on soap carving. It was here at the Y that he began his true interest in art through sculpture. In the summer, he was found at Camp Camel Guard serving as a dining hall steward, giving harmonica lessons, teaching crafts, and leading group singing. For 2 camping summers, McCluskey chiseled on a 500-pound, 12 by 12 cedar log. He transformed that into a totem pole. This totem pole remained a camp landmark for over 70 years, and it can now be seen just up the street, standing inside the entrance to Heritage Hall and the McCloskey Museum. The totem pole was completed in 1934, and it was so impressive that at age 19 years of age, McCloskey was given a commission. He was asked to prepare sculptures for the Hamilton Municipal Building, now known as the Frederick G. Mueller Building. Over a 6-month period of time, he completed medallions illustrating the art and industry of Hamilton, 20 bas reliefs cut from sandstone, and several cast iron aluminum pieces, as well as the seal of the city of Hamilton. During his senior year in high school, he was awarded first place in a National Scholastic Exhibit of Art competition. This also earned him a 4-year scholarship to the prestigious Vesper George Art School in Boston. It was during spring break from art school that McCloskey traveled to New York. He had with him samples of his artwork, and he went to see a lady by the name of May Massey. She was editor of Junior Books Division at Viking Press. May Massey was the aunt of Stuart Fitton, a familiar Hamilton name and a childhood friend of McCloskey. Massey gave him his first commission in children's literature, illustrating a book jacket for the book Trigger John's Son. Massey also gave him a bit of sage advice that eventually defined his success as an author and illustrator. "Go home," she told him. "Go home and write and draw what you know." Well, McCloskey moved to New York, and he spent summers at the National Academy of Design studying. He spent his summers painting on Cape Cod. While he was there, he sold a few watercolors, but he sold none of his oil paintings. It was then McCloskey returned home to Hamilton. Back home in Ohio, he drew upon his childhood for inspiration. He remembered the words of May Massey, and he started drawing and painting the things he saw around him, the things that he knew so well. And he began work on what was to be his first book, Lentil, a semi-autobiographical story about a boy and his harmonica. It was published in 1940. Now, Lentil, as you probably know by now, is a young lad about 10 or 11 years old and still has only one name, Lentil. He couldn't sing, he couldn't whistle, he couldn't pucker his lips, and when he opened his mouth to try, only the strangest sounds came out. So he saved up enough pennies, he bought a harmonica, and he practiced his skills in the bathtub. Now, McCloskey said that bathtub with its old wash basin, why, that's the one that's upstairs in the house where I grew up on Hamilton's west side. In the book Lentil, this little boy marches barefoot through the fictional town of Alto, Ohio, followed closely by his dog, just a-blowin' on his harmonica. Now, McCloskey once told an interviewer that publishing Lentil was much more exciting to him than even winning 2 Caldecott Awards. It was as though I was sort of tied up in a paper bag, or like I was in a gunny sack with the rope tied around the neck of it. All of a sudden, everything just spilled out. Voom! And I had my first book, Lentil. This past school year, through the generosity of the Lane Libraries and the Michael Colligan Fund, every 3rd grade student in the Hamilton public and parochial schools received a copy of the book Lentil in recognition of McCloskey's centennial. Today, a life-size replica of Lentil and his dog stands up here in Lentil Park, right up the street at the corner of Front and High. It was a gift to the city of Hamilton in 2001 from the Hamilton Community Foundation. Now, Lentil, Homer Price, and Centerburg Tales are 3 books that were written and illustrated by McCloskey that reflect the years that he spent here in Hamilton growing up. Hamilton also provided inspiration for many of the illustrations, such as the donut machine that he remembered inside the former Elite Bakery on High Street. A few landmarks remain standing in our city today. They are the Presbyterian Church on Front Street, the Lane Library, the courthouse, and of course, Colonel Carter's house on Ross Avenue. Reviewers and critics and scholars have compared Lentil and Homer Price with Mark Twain's Tom Sawyer. They believe his illustrations to be like that of Norman Rockwell. You know, said McCloskey, it's just sort of an accident that I write books. All of my training is as an artist. I just write stories so that I can have something to put the pictures to. I really think up stories and pictures, and I just fill in between the pictures with a sentence or a paragraph or maybe a few pages of words. I'm not at all prolific. I have to wait until it just bubbles out. In 1941, after a full year of writing and rewriting, McCloskey's second and best-loved book, Make Way for Ducklings, was published. It also won him his first Caldecott Award for the Best Illustrated Children's Book of the Year. Since then, Make Way for Ducklings has been translated into 13 languages, sold more than 2.5 million copies, and is the official state book of Massachusetts. McCloskey returned home to Hamilton just prior to the start of World War II. He came home to research, to remember, and to write his first chapter book, Homer Price. Homer Price is a series of 6 stories just filled with hilarity and affection and reminiscent of his interests growing up in the small Midwest town of Hamilton. The best known of the Homer Price stories is The Donuts. Eventually, a children's librarian won his heart. He met and married Margaret Peggy Durand, and by the time he came out of the Army in 1946, he and Peggy had a 1-year-old daughter, Sally. They moved to an island in Penobscot Bay, Maine, and 3 years later, daughter Jane was born. The island became his paradise. Now it was his family, their adventures on the island, his family, once again, that inspired his subsequent books. Why Blueberries for Sal had the aura of a national event. That December of 1948, Life magazine reprinted the entire story as a Christmas gift to its young readers. More books were to follow. One Morning in Maine, his second Caldecott Award, Time of Wonder, and finally, Bert Dow, Deepwater Man. Although he wrote and illustrated just 6 books and illustrated 10 more, those books are considered timeless. They're extraordinary, and they forever changed the world of children's literature. McCloskey was honored as a living legend by the Library of Congress in the year 2000. He joined 82 other notable Americans, such as Hank Aaron, Bob Hope, Bill Cosby, Steven Spielberg, and Dr. Michael DeBakey. The inscription on the award reads, "For the lasting contribution you have made to enriching our national heritage." You know, to understand what really moved McCloskey the most, what inspired him, and what he valued, you need only to read his books. The characters, the settings, the landmark, even the cats and dogs that prowl along the margins of his books, they all draw upon those things McCloskey knew best. His childhood, his hometown, his wife Peggy, his daughters Sally and Jane, and his beloved island off the coast of Maine. Robert McCloskey died on June 30th, 2003. He was 88 years old. I hope you now know a little bit more about this quiet, shy, and unassuming, but incredibly gifted and talented man who was born and raised right here in our hometown of Hamilton, Ohio. As the culminating event in the McCluskey Centennial, we will be premiering a documentary on the life and work of McCluskey. The documentary, written by Sam Ashworth with background music by our own Paul Stanberry, is sure to be a lasting legacy. In addition, McCluskey's daughter, Sally and Jane, and sculptor Nancy Schoen and others will be sharing their remembrances of McCluskey. The McCluskey Centennial Committee invites each one of you to join us 7 o'clock Saturday, September 13th at the Wilkes Center on the campus of Miami University for this special event. I hope that you'll make a point to visit Heritage Hall and the McCluskey Museum, where you can learn even more about his works, purchase his books, view his art, and see his Caldecott Awards. And if you'd like a Linnell t-shirt or a book, go up the street to Linnell Park, where we have a tent. And if you'd like a quick lesson on the harmonica by David Burke, and didn't he do a phenomenal job, go over to the corner by the tree where David Burke will help you get started making music the Lentil way. Thank you all, and now go and enjoy the remainder of this beautiful day that the Lord has given us. Go and make some memories. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Definitely Robert McCluskey, a Hamilton treasure. We're going to hear from some other Hamilton treasures, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to hear patriotic music from Hamilton elementary students from the organization HAMS, Hamilton's Acting and Music School. These elementary students come from many of Hamilton's elementary schools. Today they'll be singing America Every Day and You're a Grand Old Flag. They under the direction of Mrs. Terry McKee, Mrs. Chrissy Fox, and Marguerite Haven. Ladies and gentlemen, HAMS.
We are living the American way. We
We're going to close with a final patriotic piece by the Hamilton Concert Band. Thank you and have a safe and meaningful July 4th.